In 2020, I set a goal to ride and rank 500 coasters. I was able to get 135 credits, and with the coaster season pretty much over, save for a few exceptions, I thought now would be a good time for me to discuss my top 10% favorite coasters. So that means today we're going to be looking at my top 14. Now when I rank coasters, I'm not looking simply at the best layouts, the tallest heights, the fastest speeds. I'm mainly thinking about the coasters that I have the most fun on for one reason or another, so keep that in mind as I rank. At the end of this video, I'm going to list all 135 credits so you can see what I was choosing from. Finally, I want you to know that these are just my opinions, and what makes talking about coasters so fun is that everyone has a different point of view, and it's so great to hear why others may or may not like a certain coaster. So now that we've got all of that out of the way, let's get into the list. Number 14, Thunderbird at Holiday World. Opening in 2015, America's only B&M launched wing coaster took me by surprise during my only visit to the park. I love launched coasters, but that does not guarantee a high place in my rankings. Thunderbird's launch into the Immelmann is fantastic. It's smooth, it's set in the woods, and it features unique near-miss experiences. Number 13, Goliath at Six Flags Over Georgia. Opening in 2006, this B&M hypercoaster at my home park clocks in at just 200 feet with a 175-foot first drop, but it offers a variant of the typical modern B&M hyper layout. You leave the park, fly over the entrance Plaza's Lake, and experience multiple moments of airtime. The helix when taken in the back row makes me gray out more often than not, but my biggest knock on this coaster is how hard the ops will staple you. It's borderline absurd. Number 12. Twisted Cyclone at Six Flags Over Georgia. Reopening in 2018 in its current form, this is the first RMC to crack my top 10%. This coaster has the best first drop in the park, especially when taken in the back row. The airtime is strong and it truly feels like there's no wasted space. Every element is maximized. Number 11, Storm Chaser at Kentucky Kingdom. Opening in 2016, I got my first rides this year. The barrel roll drop in the front provides some great hang time, and the ejector airtime throughout is extremely strong. I managed to get 6 rides on this in various rows, and no matter where you sit, you're in for a fun but violent experience, especially towards the end of the ride cycle. Number 10, Cannibal at Lagoon. Opening in 2015, Cannibal is an in-house creation featuring an elevator lift and insane beyond vertical drop, which reaches heights of over 200 feet, giving you a great view of Utah before plummeting you back to earth. Cannibal isn't just a one-trick pony either. It features several great elements, including the Lagoon Roll, which is 2 back-to-back Heartline rolls, and a final helix near a waterfall, which provides a nice misting on hot days. Number 9, Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City. Opening in 2018, this Mach Rides Extreme Spinning Coaster features a fun theme with a well-decorated queue and audio soundtrack to match. I don't typically enjoy spinning coasters, but the spinning doesn't feel out of control like on other coasters such as the Pandemonium clones at Six Flags. I can't recommend the back row enough, so you can experience that drop that occurs right out of the station. The way the coaster spins, you'll take it backwards, and it's amazing. It will continue to impress even the most seasoned coaster veteran time after time. 2 great launches and fun inversions cap off this fantastic addition to the park. Number 8. MAKO at SeaWorld Orlando. Opening in 2016, this is the second B&M Hyper to appear on this list. B&M Hypers are my favorite coaster model for the consistent airtime you experience. On my one visit to SeaWorld Orlando, I got 11 rides in before weather interrupted my day, and most of those rides are in the back row. And on one ride in particular, I had so much room between myself and the restraint that I felt like I was practically standing on that first drop. If airtime is what you want, MAKO is a great place to get it. Number 7, Orion at Kings Island. Opening in 2020, this B&M Giga rose in my rankings the more I rode it. Set in the new Area 72 where Firehawk used to be, this ride is well-themed to space travel and features many Cedar Fair-related Easter eggs. The first drop is great, the airtime is strong, but what surprised me the most was the airtime I got going into the brake run. Orion is a complete package and a fantastic addition to Kings Island. Number 6, Millennium Force at Cedar Point. Opening in 2000, this is the oldest coaster on this list at 20 years old as of this recording. I think there's a few reasons why I rank this above Orion. First, the station music. While there's another station song that I rank higher, this one definitely pumps you up for what you're about to experience. Second, the setting along Lake Erie is beautiful and you really get to take it in on that lift hill. Finally, the first drop just feels longer and more intense in the back row. Maybe it's the minimal restraints or the fact that you're sitting closer to the track than you do on Orion, but all I know is I feel every part of every element, and that helps give the edge to Millennium Force on this list. Number 5, Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. Reopening in 2018, some will rank this coaster at number 1, and I certainly wouldn't argue with that opinion. In some ways, you could say Steel Vengeance offers a little something for everyone. Height, speed, length, airtime, inversions. This coaster really has it all. So then, why is it not number 1 for me? Well, I got 6 rides this year, and I felt that the coaster ran rather gently, and in some instances, it felt rather drawn out in places. I rode this throughout the day and in different rows each time and came away with the same opinion. The 2 RMCs ranked above Steel Vengeance have strong defining characteristics that I just enjoyed more, but I still cannot deny that the airtime is fantastic on Steel Vengeance, and my favorite section of this ride are the final set of hills as you fly by the people in the queue on the final lap. Number 4, Lightning Rod at Dollywood. Opening in 2016, I got my first rides this year not too long before the coaster went down for significant maintenance. The setting on Lightning Rod is beautiful, and the coaster never lets up from the launch to the finale. One of the most intense sections of a coaster I've experienced is the quad down going into the final portion of the ride. All of this causes me to give Lightning Rod the slight edge over Steel Vengeance. Number 3, Diamondback at Kings Island. Opening in 2009, Diamondback is my favorite coaster at Kings Island because of its focus on airtime. The ops have a tendency to not staple, and that results in some of the best airtime I've experienced ever on a coaster. I picked up a total of 16 rides in 2020, and each one of them continued to impress me. The splashdown finale is also one of my favorite non-ride related coaster moments. There are plenty of B&M hypers that I've yet to experience, but for now, this tops my list for the category and comes close to being my number 1 overall. Number 2, Iron Rattler at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. Reopening in 2013, Iron Rattler might be a surprising choice for my favorite RMC out of those that I've experienced, but here's why I rank it so high. The trains, number 1, are exponentially more comfortable than the standard RMC trains. The ride setting, both near and atop the quarry wall, is breathtaking. The first drop into the tunnel is phenomenal, and unlike the experience of others, I didn't feel that the ride lost a ton of speed on top of the quarry wall before dropping back down. Now, I will say that most of my rides were in the back row, and they were at night, so maybe that helped to give Iron Rattler a boost, but I do plan to visit Fiesta, Texas again to find out if Iron Rattler still holds up in my rankings. And finally, my number 1 coaster is Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point. This was the reason I offered the rather lengthy disclaimer at the beginning, because I know most people are going to groan at this choice, but that's okay. Here's why Top Thrill Dragster is number 1 for me. First, the music in the station is the chorus of the song Ready to Go by Republica, which is an underrated song from 1997 that sets the tone of the ride perfectly. Second, the anticipation of the launch. The positioning of the bleachers beside the launch area is so great as riders and onlookers both get to ham it up for each other as they await the launch. Third, the launch itself. It's the single best rush I've experienced on a coaster. Next, the standing airtime that I get over the top hat and on the way down is extremely enjoyable, and it's probably helped out by the final pro, and that's the minimal restraints. Top Thrill Dragster is the reason that I no longer criticize coasters for being too short, because it's really not how much or how little of something a coaster has that makes the difference for me. It's what's done with what you've got. Now, with all of its maintenance issues, I do get worried for the future of Top Thrill Dragster, but I trust Cedar Point will keep it running well and doing all they can so that fans can continue to race for the sky well into the future. Well, there it is. My top 10% or top 14 coasters so far as of 2020. Now, I'm going to quickly list all 135 of my credits so you can see what I had to choose from. For fun, I'd love to hear in the comments what your top 14 might be. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to join my journey to ride 500 coasters, head on over to my Instagram page, Christopher's Coaster Journeys, all one word, where I post coaster photographs and I document my journey to 500. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.